Yada dhana suvaidhana Bhavandina bhavanti cha Evam bhutani bhuteshu Bhutani chamayaya Yada dhana suvaidhana Bhavandina bhavanti cha Evam bhutani bhuteshu Bhutani chamayaya Yada dhana suvaidhana Bhavandina bhavanti cha Evam bhutani bhuteshu Bhutani chamayaya Just as Nasu proceeds to the by indeed rings, Avanti are generated art, Avanti are generated also. Eva, in this way, Bhutani, living entities, Bhuteshu, in other living entities, Bhutani, in health, Ishamayaya, mighty potency of power, the Supreme Personality of God. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, HH Bhakti Vinoda Swami. Translation: when seeds are sown in the ground, they sometimes grow into plants, and sometimes do not. Sometimes the ground is not fertile, and the sowing of seeds is unproductive. Similarly, sometimes a prospective father, being impelled by the potency of the Supreme Lord, can beget a child, but sometimes conception does not take place. Therefore, one should not lament over the artificial relationship of parenthood, which is ultimately controlled by the Supreme Lord. Purport: Maharaj Chitraketu was actually not destined to get a son. Therefore, although he married hundreds and thousands of wives, all of them proved barren, and he could not beget even one child. When Angiri Rishi came to see the king requested the great sage to enable him to have at least one son. Because of the blessing of Angiri Rishi, a child was sent to the praise of Maya. But the child was not to live for long. Therefore, in the beginning, Angiri Rishi told the king that he would get a child who would cause jubilation and lamentation. King Chitraketu was not destined to get a child by the providence or the will of the Supreme. Just as sterile grain cannot produce more grain, a sterile person by the will of the Supreme Lord cannot get a child. Sometimes a child is born even to an impotent father and sterile, and sometimes a potent father and fertile mother and childless. Indeed, sometimes a child is born despite contraceptive methods, and therefore the parents kill the child in the womb. In the present age, killing children in the womb is become a common practice. Why? When contraceptive methods are taken, why don't they act? Why is a child sometimes produced so that the father and mother have to kill it in the womb? We must conclude that our arrangement of so-called scientific knowledge cannot determine what will take place. What is enacted actually depends on the Supreme Will. It is by the Supreme Will that we are situated in certain conditions in terms of family, community, and personality. These are all arrangements of the Supreme Law according to our desires under the spell of Maya, illusion. In devotional life, therefore, one should not desire anything, since everything depends on the Supreme Personality. As stated in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Anya Vidashita Shunya, Jnana Karmati Anavritam, Anukulena Krishna Nushidanam Bhakti Uttama. One should remember transcendental loving service to the Supreme Lord Krishna favorably and without desire for material profit of gain through the fruit of activities or philosophical speculation. This is called pure devotional service. One should act only to develop Krishna consciousness. For everything else, one should fully depend upon the Supreme Person. We should not create plans that will ultimately make us frustrated. Om Tat Sat. Om Jnanandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Sthapitam Yedam Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadadharam Kadam Swapatam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Saragana Karuna Pratitamatam Sattivam Sarvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sagitam Krishna Chaitanyanevam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaste Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasa Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We are reading the chapter called Narada and Angira instructing the people. Brilliant instructions have been given by wise munis to Maharaj Chitraketu, who has 1 million wives and no children. Here Prabhupada is saying that is why the builder of the law. He has 1 million wives and he has no children. But he cannot take it. He wants a child. what to do. The will of the Lord does not permit you to have it, but He won't accept it. You can't accept and fall in line with the plan of the Lord. Purpose. I'm not able to accept and fall in line with the plan of the Lord. And therefore, I suffer frustration. The last statement of the here. We should not create plans that will ultimately make us frustrated. So, frustration, working the other way around, frustration is because you're creating a plan that is not in line with the Lord's plan. One very important distinction, frustration is because your plan may not be in line with the Lord's plan. How do I make out what is the Lord's plan? When your plan doesn't function, you know it is not the Lord's plan. At least that much you know for sure. But you may try again and again and again and again. 1 million ways to try. It didn't work out. It is not that, it's very interesting. It is not that Krishna is trying to make it. Actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 100, 200,000, 1 lakh. And then Krishna would have told, no, it's okay to have a child. Try very hard. But it looks like Krishna did not say so. Krishna did not will so. And does that mean that Krishna has become a very good heart person? Or does it mean that each individual should understand that he should not have a separate plan of his own, but should surrender to God? Actually, very difficult for us to accept surrender to God. Generally speaking, everybody in the community will say, oh, what is that? Child of God. That's what it is saying. This is the meaning of what Krishna is telling in Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada says, Krishna demands surrender. He uses the word, Krishna demands surrender. This is where they make a difference. This is where it can become common Hinduism or pure devotee. This is the distinction. Prabhupada is saying Krishna demands surrender. And you can see that here. 1 million ways. No. Surrender first. Follow my plan. My plan is you're not going to have a child. Are you willing to agree? No. And you get frustrated. But in between comes Narayani Narayani. This is the meaning of Vayamika. This is the meaning of spiritual mastery. Prabhupada says spiritual mastery is a problem. Yes. Says Prabhupada, he brokers the relationship for you. Because you're not able to understand. Why? Because of your investment inside man. Affection, love, and all these things which are anyway temporary. You're not able to see beyond the temporary. So, Prabhupada explains the Guru is like a broker. Then he uses the word, he's a negotiator for you. He does negotiations on your behalf. That is why he is very important. That is why he should be a person who is fully realized in pure devotee. Because you have to negotiate for this person's aversion. So you see how these two are giving the power to give him a child. Although the Lord has not given him a child. How bold you may think. How dare you do that against the will of the Lord? They know what they do. They know fully well the Lord's plan. They know fully well Chitraketu will not have a child. And you see, he did not have a child. Even after his child was born, he actually did not have a child. Because that was followed. But he gave him a little experience. Within that little experience, He came to understand that now I understand. And he became a very wonderful, great name is spoken about. Then he became the trust God and became even more glorious. How to understand that the plan and the law is different for different people? For each one of us, Krishna has got a plan. And it is different for each one of us. It's not all the same because we are all different. They're not all the same. They're individuals. Individuals. And so we are individually taught and indicated to learn by Krishna. Is it taught? Teacher means should be one. I am for your sake manifested in your heart individually to a teacher. Not that in a nice school, one teacher will come to board at 50, 30, 100 people watch and have no connection relationship. See how Krishna is a teacher, one to one, in your heart, coming externally as the Guru, coming as so many devotees around you. And in this way, Krishna is affecting your education. And you can see here the story of Maharaj Brigadiers education. Sorry. The same type of education occurred to Maharaj in a different way. Krishna personally came as Vamana, and from inside his heart as Paramatma he influenced. And his external Guru was influenced in the opposite. It was so interesting. The agency of Guru, Shukracharya, was against him surrendering to the Lord. Something went wrong even in the Radha in Krishna system. His agent made him surrender. He made him surrender. My agent is not doing well. He's not well. But here you can see the agency of the Lord in the form of Narada and they do a very good job. They said, you know what Krishna wants very good. Okay, here we have a child. But one condition, both lamentation and jubilation. They're not right of my kingdom. Just want a child. Good. Within that time, we will give you a lesson. There's come. Now the child is dead. The scene here is the child is dead. He had fun. He had a lot of amazing happiness. I got a child. I got a son. The next king. Everything we celebrated. He had charity, jumping up and down, everything. But the child died because all the other things, poison, and killed. See how human society works. Prabhupada used the word that he got a son by the grace of Maya. Very interesting the way Prabhupada is writing. Such useful book. Before that, it says, by the will of the Lord, he did not have a son. Then he said, it's written here, by the grace of Maya, he had a son. Very carefully chosen to become the son and disappears and teach him a powerful lesson. And now when he is dead, he is unable to take it. And Angulimuni has landed exactly at the time of misery. Misery is the best time for getting lessons. When you are miserable, spiritual education is best when you are miserable. It's a different type of enjoyment you have. If you really get into it, when you're really miserable, everything in the world is against you. and only Krishna is there for you. In fact, there is a different type of happiness. And he repeatedly writes this in the Bhagavatam to many different people. Parikshit Maharaj was all alone. When he was cursed, he went to the bank of the Ganges and Krishna sent him. And here we see Chitraketu, 1 million wives struggling, and Krishna is saying, rituals. So these are great moments, right? This Angili Rishi and Narada Muni moment in Chitraketu's life is a turning point. It's a real turning point. And Krishna is watching it very carefully. Everything is there. This Paramatma in the heart of Angili Muni, Narada Muni, and Chitraketu. Can you imagine how he's moving forward? It is never a turning point without his knowledge. So, he is introverted. You can see that this question, okay, what relationship does this dead body for which you haven't have with you, and what relationship will you have with you? What a question to ask. Yes, no, so they really actually not in the same. Both of them. And he said, what relationship we have with this? Is there? Is there only? Is there only? No, it's their body. It's not there. So you know, the body and soul are different. Because, but what relationship is dead body as well? Are you crying for this dead body then? Can I question being asked? You may say that you are not related as father and son, but do you think this relationship existed before? Does it truly exist now? Will it continue in the future? Does it continue in the future? Breathing is just going forward. His life is completely lost. Where deep misery. Come and ask him this question. What relationship is dead body as well with you? What a question to ask. Will you do this? Will you go for condolences in them? To wait for condolences. Actually, this is what you should do for condolences. This is a great condolence. None of me and here. One of the best condolences for this. What relationship is that body is coming with you? Right? Instead, what we are going to do? Cry along and the great loss on that. We take all sorts of things because they're not registered. Very sad, sad. And you speak a few words and you come away very like, because illusion is always nice. Illusion that is illusion that my children will be perfectly all right, and only their children die, mine will be all right. And an illusion. That's the verse of the word. And the illusion of that.
Recording in progress.
Lasting instruction. Right? So you can just put yourself in this position and say, oh, especially in your parents. They have come to ask, when you are in a very comfortable position, these things can never be taught to you. They knew that. Put in such a position. How? They are not supposed to be. Putting him inside the situation is what I mean by immersive experience. An immersive real life experience. It's not an immersive show that you go into a metaverse or something and have an immersive experience. It's an immersive real life experience induced in you by these two very intelligent people. And you are going to go through it. And you can do nothing but get self-realized. This is mercy of Angili Muni and Narada Muni. Where we set this person right today. They're determined. And they're asking these questions. And they're giving advice. Oh King. Small particles of science sometimes come together and are sometimes separated into the forms of waves. This Yeah. Sorry. When seeds are sown in the ground, they sometimes grow into plants and sometimes do not. Sometimes the ground is not fertile and the sowing of seeds is unproductive. Similarly, sometimes a prospective father may impel the pregnancy of the Supreme Lord and beget a child, but sometimes conception does not take place. Therefore, one should not lament over the artificial relationship of parenthood. Mentioned here, parenthood is artificial relationship. Only the Bhagavatam dares speak like this. In this world, when everybody is talking about relationship, there are good relationship, artificial relationship. Parenthood, the best of relationships, which Prabhupada said is the closest that you can get to true love. And yet the Bhagavatam says artificial relationship. Right? So we live in a real funny world actually. None of the things that we relate with, nothing we do is actually real. And we don't register it all the time. Even when we read Bhagavatam. We read Bhagavatam also, we will not register. So illusion is not something so easily blown apart. Unless you are willing to surrender. That is the point. Actually, Chitraketu is a wonderful devotee also. It's not that he's not a devotee. Don't think he's a non-devotee here. He's a devotee. Otherwise, why will he attract the mercy of Narada Muni and Girish to come to his palace and be with him? They have feelings towards him. This is a nice devotee. He's stuck unnecessarily in this. Right? So this is called Moha Mudgara. The hammer of illusion. Shankaracharya's Bhajagavatam song is like this. It just bangs at all the illusion. It's called the hammer of illusion. The Bhajagavatam song has been called the hammer of illusion. Beating illusion. And you get beaten a little bit in that. But you don't feel it after you come out with it. So we need this treatment. This hammering treatment. This hammering treatment is being given to children by Angira Muni and Narada Muni. And it is the person who can take it is going to take it. Because the next scene is, after speaking all these things, still you're not understanding, they'll step it up. You know, you go at a certain speed and then you're not meeting the necessary time. You press on the accelerator and go faster. They see that it's not still understanding. They step it up. They said, okay, I'll bring it back. And they bring it back into the body of that dead son who wakes up. What an amazing thing to do. Bring your dead son alive. See what all they did for Chitraketu to get realized. And the dead son. Imagine this. Wonderful. I always thought you should that's so cool. Not yet, just few words. And then he speaks. The dead son speaks. And then he just a hammer is not enough. Okay, another, I'll tell you a son to bash you. Have your son bash up the illusion. That's the best. Step it up. And then the son comes and, oh, why did you call me back? Who are you? Which father? Which Janma? Another slap. That worked. The slap of the son worked wonderfully. Shocked. Chitraketu was shocked. And both of them were witnessing. Very good. Now it's working. Now it's working. Because the son gets up and disowns his father. What parenthood? What parent? Who are you? Why did you bring me back here? So many parents have gone through. All useless. The way he spoke, of course, these things are spoken by real children nowadays, even though there's no Chitraketu moment in their life. They're just going to speak it anyway to you. What parent? What did you do for me? What type of sense gratification you gave for me? Look at that. Look at this. Look at this. You did not give me any. It's a total diametrically opposite remark from this. Similar remark from not a dead son come alive, but a live son going to die. Going to be dead soon.
The material world has got these mirror images of the same thing happening in the Bhagavatam, but completely in a different context. And that hammer really works. Chitraketu got out of his bubble broke. Now, what we need to understand here is Prabhupada's very beautiful purport and says, you must understand. Because you're a parent doesn't mean you are the person who manufactured the child and you own the child. Mine, my production. No, it is not. No, it is not. And he's explaining the production. Sometimes it doesn't work at all. Sometimes it doesn't work at all. And it works in amazing circumstances sometimes. Sometimes it works in amazing circumstances. So why did he accept the fact that if it is not working, leave it. Don't over endeavor. Prayasa. Over endeavoring kills your spiritual life. So he's advising, don't over endeavor. But you over endeavor and you're not able to understand. You're not able to take it. This is the meaning of attachment. If you're attached, it's not easy to understand Krishna consciousness and execute Krishna consciousness. This does not mean you should become artificially detached. As much as attachment is bad, artificial detachment is also bad. When you're not yet ready for detachment also, you should not try to be detached. It's also equally bad. It's the other side of the coin of attachment. Jai Jagannath Baladev Subhadram Ki. Mature detachment means you have gone through attachment and seen the misery of attachment. You know, you feel it. And the best place to feel it is Grihastha life. If you have not actually gone through it, mostly you will not have that experience. Mostly you won't have that experience and you won't understand the attachment in real form. It's very deep. And human society is based on that attachment. And human society functions, and it must do so. It must not artificially bypass it. You must be Krishna conscious within that attachment and try to detach in a Krishna conscious way. You cannot detach in an artificial way. It's not recommended because it will break. So, when you see a Grihastha like Chitraketu growing through the pain of attachment, he's actually growing through the pain of attachment. You can see his growth, how he is being pushed through it. This is real Krishna consciousness. It's not that you avoid that whole thing and avoid the growth and the responsibility for that growth. Sometimes people shun Grihastha life like as though, no, you must be very careful. Will you be able to substitute that same growth otherwise outside of it? So, human life is aimed at growing in Krishna consciousness. Whatever is favorable for growing in Krishna consciousness, we accept it. If it is Grihastha life, it should be accepted. If it is Brahmacharya life, it should be accepted. If it is Sannyas life, it should be accepted. But the point is to grow in Krishna consciousness. So you can see Chitraketu is being grown by Angira Muni and Narada Muni are both sannyasis. And they know that this person has got great potential. And they're growing him in Krishna consciousness. By bringing in good agents of Krishna. They're not going against, they can easily go and say, Krishna did not give you a child. I gave you a child. There's no such conversation in this. That is cheating. That is wanting to take the position of God. But here you see them never talk like that. And they know we are temporarily, this child is temporary, this whole event is temporary. But with the temporary, you will get the permanent. That's the best part of it. There's a very nice shloka in the 11th canto which says that intelligence means using the temporary to get the permanent. What a wonderful statement. And the Bhagavatam says that an intelligent man is he who utilizes his temporary body, utilizes his illusion and situation that we are in, and achieves the permanent. That requires intelligence, that requires good guidance. And you can see that happening here. The good guidance given by Narada Muni and Angira Muni to Chitraketu. This is something that we should study carefully. Chitraketu is allowing it and is maintaining that etiquette. Whatever you say, I will listen to. And now I got the child, I enjoyed my life as being a parent, and now I have to put myself out of it. That also he did. That also he did. Because he had faith that both these people have my interest at heart. I have that faith. And he surrendered himself to both of them. He may not have surrendered to the will of the Lord in terms of getting a child, but he surrendered to both of them. And they led him to Krishna. They didn't say, therefore worship me, I am actually the Lord. I gave you the child. They led him to be very highly Krishna conscious. And he would forever be grateful to both of them for boldly dragging me through this experience and giving me Krishna consciousness, which is the highest wealth. Right? So these are wonderful conversations. They are very beautiful conversations. They hit exactly the target. So if in parenting, you know, this lamentation, why there is lamentation? When there is lamentation, it's always to do with sense gratification. You cannot lament otherwise. That lamentation which the gopis have is not ordinary material lamentation. It is lamentation on a very different level. It is vipralamba bhava. The same diametrically opposite portion of it in the material world is this lamentation. When I am not able to have that gratification, when will I get it? Sochanti, kankshati. Both these things, lamentation and hankering. He was hankering and hankering for a child. And now one stroke he's lamenting for his lost child. Sense gratification is involved. How is sense gratification involved for a parent? Naturally he'll be attached to the child. Why should he not be? It's very rude, the Bhagavatam, to say that artificial parenthood, attachment. And these two people are cutting the attachment, very busy chopping off the attachment of Chitraketu. But you must understand, beyond that normal emotions, material emotions, something amazing has happened to Chitraketu, which will never happen on his own. On his own, he will never be able to make that happen. So, parenthood is about attachment. And we should read this, and parents should read this and understand, yes, the child, I should definitely bring him with love and affection, but not at the cost of my love and affection for Krishna. Not at the cost of his love and affection for Krishna. The child should not become overly dependent on the parent and you feel great about it. See, he's depending on me. This is a subtle, nice feeling when your child is always surrendered to you and always dependent on you. He's so dependent and you enjoy it. It's a material attachment. But intelligent parents will also do what is necessary and at the same time let go. You do it on your own. I'm not available for you at certain times. When you overly try to depend on me, I'm not available for you. Because I want you to learn to depend, you yourself to depend on yourself and do things and become Krishna conscious. That you should teach. You know where to draw the line of affection and that affection becoming a spoiler for his growth. That requires great detachment, actually, to draw the line and say, no, I'm not giving this to you. You're asking for it, I'm not giving it to you. But actually, the opposite happens. The parents enjoy the fact that the son or the daughter is very dependent on me, mostly the son nowadays. And that's especially with the mother. And the mother is also enjoying it. So much she's enjoying it that when the son gets married, the wife feels completely lost. The new wife, I did not do anything wrong. But she's treated like some pariah in the house. Especially the mother treats her like a great competitor. To competitor to what? To the relationship I am enjoying with my son. Now you have come to share out of it. I look at you in a completely different way. Arey, why did you get married then? Why did he get married then? Allow him to be what he should be. They don't allow the son to be what he should be. Possess him so much. Possess him so much. And he becomes a dead zombie, completely under the remote control of mother's affection. Should I divorce my wife? Yes, you must do it. She's a very great threat to my association with you. Of course, your association is everything for me. Kill the wife. Divorce her. He said, what did I do? I didn't do anything wrong. I washed the clothes. I cleaned my mother-in-law's bed. I did everything that she said. Why she's constantly thinking I'm some stranger, I'm pariah, part of. No. I didn't do anything wrong. And the husband also knows, you didn't do anything wrong, I know. But I'm helpless. Such a idiot of a son. He doesn't grow. He will never grow. He'll be just a mama's boy, even when he's 40 years old. What can I do, mama? He'll become. And the mama enjoys it very much. See, he's very dependent on me. Crazy. So, balanced parenthood. I know I must love my child for his growth. I must be there when required. At the same time, I should know when not to encourage it beyond a certain limit. Right? Hard lessons Chitragirti is learning. Very fast he is learning. This is what I call express education. Super express learning. And he went through it. He benefited immensely from it. He didn't have to take any more lifetimes of learning. Right? So interesting lessons on parenthood. Very interesting lessons on parenthood. On the other side, if you see Vyasadeva and Shukadeva Goswami, their relationship, father is running behind, hey, Kuncham, please look back at me. And I have nothing to do with both of you. That's another wonderful story. Total detachment. He's born and he walks off. He's born and just walks off. And the father is running, son, look at me. Take a look at you. No, not required. No, not required. He just goes away. Amazing. And you'll see Prahlad and father relationship. It's one-way relationship. He's interested, my father should become a devotee. And father is saying, you rascal, I'll finish you. What a relationship. It's diametrically opposite. Two different things. And he brings upon mercy of the Lord on his father. These are all amazing parent-child relationships. He's an abuser of his child. And he gets the highest reward because of his child. It's a very amazing pastime, if you look at it that way, in terms of parenthood. Same you will see Brahma and the four Kumaras, parenthood. All four of them will refuse. Now you become Prajapatis and no, sorry. You're not doing it. What? How dare you say no to me? I am Brahma. I am Brahma. It doesn't matter. It actually doesn't matter you are Brahma. Because the supreme absolute truth, the personality of God, it is everything. But I'm your father telling you, you must follow my order. No. No, you're not getting married, you're not having children. That's it. He became super angry. But they went. Nothing happened. Same parent relationship you'll see with Daksha and his sons. Daksha and his sons. So Bhagavatam is full of parent relationships with their children. Lots of very interesting, brilliant examples. And what is that play? Growth of the child. How should the child grow? He should grow in Krishna consciousness. Let him become a lover of Krishna. Doesn't matter if he is not having a great relationship with you. You should feel great if he has become a devotee of Krishna because you have done your job. You have done your job as a parent. You should be very happy. And invariably, if he is a devotee of Krishna, he will have a very good relationship with you, irrespective of your past. That's how a devotee will be. Krishna consciousness is always successful in relationships. Really speaking, Krishna consciousness is the answer to all relationships, all types of hoods, parenthood, womanhood, childhood, boyhood, you name it, anything, all works best only if you're Krishna conscious in the center. So, Prabhupada's purport explains a lot here. Chitraketu was not destined to get a child by providence or the will of the Supreme. And that's it. It was not meant to be. And he didn't accept that. He didn't accept it. He couldn't be bent. And there was no idea of breaking him. So he's bending, accepting Krishna consciousness, surrendering to Krishna because of the very able counseling and experience given to him by Anguru Muni and Narada Muni. What is really parenthood? What he should actually desire? Om Tat Sat, Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam. Any question or comment? Not exactly enviousness, possessiveness. It's my possession. My possession. And you cannot be without thinking, come from your body. How can you not think it's my possession? You can be so attached to a phone which never came out of your body. Such heavy attachment you can have for the phone. And what much you must have if it has come out of your body and you've borne the child for 9 months. How can you say no to it? It has to be like that. It is designed like that. But the design is also meant for you to understand it's not yours. That is education. You are thinking it's mine, and the education is it's not yours. Education occurs only when this is understood. Because that relationship is temporary, that possession is temporary. So everybody has to go through this, actually. The pain and the challenges. To keep up a possession of yours also is all the endeavor in this world. True, that's an important point. Any question or comment? Any other question or comment? Yeah.
Just a quick clarification that the kid was denied millions of times because of the devotee. It's not happen.
No, that's answered by Prabhupada. Doesn't matter devotee or not devotee. It's the will of the Supreme that matters. Krishna doesn't desire it for you. That's all. Whether you're a devotee or a non-devotee, it doesn't happen for you. You have to accept it. Non-devotees normally will not accept it so easily. Devotees can tend to accept it. That's why you can see Chitraketu, a devotee. And you can't just see it as ordinary attachment. This is a legitimate thing to want to have a son because I'm a grahastha. Don't tie it up with the type of mentalities people have nowadays. Some grahasthas get married and desire even before marriage we will not have any children. There's some different type of grahastha life. We don't know what that is, Kali Yuga. But normally, Putrarthet kriyet bharya putra pinda prayojanam. The father has got a purpose. And the grahastha, as a grahastha, I've got a purpose. Putrahinam graham shunyam. If I don't have a son, my household life is zero. What's the use of being a householder if you don't have a child? So you're not a grahastha if you don't have a child. So the desire to get a progeny is natural and it is encouraged. So even so-called non-devotees in various categories, they all also, according to Vedic custom, want to have a child. There's nothing wrong with it. But if you don't have a child, for the reasons like Chitraketu has, not because you're desiring not to have a child, it's because although you want a child, you're not getting a child, then you should know it's the will of the Lord. And you depend more on the law. It's not so easy to do. If you're a devotee, it may be a little easy to do. If you're not a devotee, you can't completely get frustrated like nothing. People do all crazy things. They do that homa, this yajna, that, everything, it doesn't happen. But amazingly, I've seen devotees get child after they have been exposed to Krishna consciousness, after many years of their life previously never having a child. That's another amazing thing. I've seen quite a few cases actually. 10, 12 years that Pujari from the Janardhan temple in Varkala never had a child. And our devotee told him, you sit in the Narsima Yajna and offer to the Lord and this thing. And he did that and he got a child. He was completely dedicated to. I have seen several devotees get a child after 8 years, 9 years, 10 years. That's Krishna's blessing. Here Angira Muni and Narada Muni are doing it. Sometimes Krishna himself is doing it. He's a devotee and he desires. I feel like that. That's my understanding. The previously he was not a devotee, but now he's a devotee and he desires to have a child. Maybe Krishna is blessing him with a child. His desire is getting satisfied. And he becomes more of a devotee. He intensifies his devotion to Krishna. So all sorts of things happen. It's all the Krishna's will. Krishna's will. That seems to be the primary thing that's being spoken about here. Recognizing the supreme will of Krishna. Prabhupada uses the word supreme will, not an ordinary will. The supreme will of the Lord.
The will of the Lord is established here. The devotee wants to have a child, which will divert the devotee away from Krishna. And the same amount of persistent will of the Lord is shown was founded. And the free will of the individual is also compensated in that way. So,
no, for a non-devotee, it will go as per his karma. For a non-devotee, it will go as per his karma. Not destined to have a child. I use the word destiny there. For a devotee, it's the will of the Lord. Sometimes his destiny becomes the will of the Lord. Now let it be like that only. This is the meaning of Yoga Kshemam Bahamyam. I will carry what you lack. I will preserve what you have. And I will play with it so that you become Krishna conscious. Even your karma, your horoscope is in the hands of the Lord. And He will use it accordingly to give you Krishna consciousness. Sometimes there may be changes, sometimes there may not be. It's not needed. The same template is used. But that's again the will of the Lord. Any other question or comment? Yeah. Brahmachari's duty towards?
His parents.
What do you think it is? What's a brahmachari's duty towards his parents? So what do you think it is?
Like what is it?
How much he should?
Attend to their desires.
Attend to their desires. Depends with the brahmachari which you're talking about. I think he's a devotee, interested in Krishna consciousness, which means that the parents also could be devotees. He has become a devotee in the house, or parents are not devotees, son has become a devotee. These are all different situations. Your question is too general. But I think different situations require different types of analysis and understanding and action. So I presume that you're talking about a situation wherein the brahmachari son is, or let's say the brahmachari, okay, the son is very interested in being a devotee, and the parents are more materialistic and not very appreciative of that. In such situations, because the goal of human life is to become Krishna conscious, you must act according to that without compromising your chance and your opportunity for Krishna consciousness. And you have to nicely sit down with the parents and explain to him what is Krishna consciousness, how it's a great opportunity. And if you don't take that opportunity, I'm very sad about it, but please don't spoil my opportunity and chance. To sit and talk with them and establish values for yourself and for them. It needs dialogue. Don't act crazy. Don't become a crazy person. Nicely, you can be assertive without being violent, both in your communication and even physically. You can be assertive. You can be disciplined. And at the same time, you can carry out your duties towards your parents. Because they are not expecting much in this situation. They're expecting that your possession, my possession should be with me. And they don't know what to do with that possession. That they don't know. I possess, should be with me. How are you going to use this possession? I don't know how to use it, but it's my possession. Sometimes people possess things but don't know how to use it. Situations change. So you have to see and you have to do things intelligently. Like in Chitraketu's thing is being told, how many parents, who parents you are. It's not that our duty towards our parents is eternal. Our duty to our real parents are eternal. Pita ahamasya jagato mata data pitamaha. Krishna is telling, I am your father, I am your mother, I am everything to you. That duty is eternal. That duty is eternal. The sacrificing the eternal duty for the temporary, you should think whether it's a wise thing to do. You should try to marry them together and try to say, yeah, I'll do this also, but there also. You should strike an understanding. If it doesn't work out, you should go to the next step and next step and next step. What to do? It's Kali Yuga. It differs from person to person, situation to situation. You can't have the same solution for every situation. It's different. So that's the general answer to the general question that you posed. Yes, any other question or comment? Om Tat Sat Hare Krishna Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Nitsai Guru Premanande.